I don't think it's a major issue. I think it occurs, but I don't know if it's so prevalent where kids are. Hard to say. You'd have to define issue. I think it's present and it occurs, and kids get harassed a lot all the time, but I don't know if it's a major issue widespread across the student body. I think it's isolated little cliques of the school that deal with it.
Okay. Why do you think teens bully each other?
Sure. I mean, I think there's an issue with bullying anytime you get a lot of people together.
I think there is an issue with bullying at the FA.
Yes.
A lot of the time it's because they were bullied themselves, or because they deal with, they're trying to kind of cover up their own issues that they're dealing with in their own life.
I think there's a lot of reasons. I think it's an outlet for stress, not a very good one. I think a lot of times when I meet with students who are doing some bullying, they've been bullied, and so it's just sort of passing on the experience they had. I think that's most often the case.
Low self-esteem. When you don't feel good about yourself, you are nasty and mean. Now, I think of myself, and I would ask you guys to think of yourselves. And when you're like down in the dumps and stuff, especially it comes out at home. That's the safest place we usually have. When you're not feeling that great, do you take it out on your dog or your younger sister or your younger brother?
They should, talk to friends. Don't hold it in. I mean, I know people don't always like to share things, but share it with a guidance counselor, someone in the main office, a teacher, and if you're feeling like you're being harassed and you don't need to be, talk to someone, because it's not gonna make it better just to kind of let it eat at you and think that, oh, everyone deals with this. Not everyone deals with being harassed by people that you're uncomfortable with. So
I think find somebody that they feel safe and comfortable with, get themselves away from that situation, or at least have somebody with them. If somebody's giving me a hard time in any way, if I have somebody I know and trust and I know likes me, it's easier to tolerate the hard time somebody's giving me with me, and I would encourage them to let somebody know, let an adult know, so that they can be followed up on. Because I think the key is everyone deserves to feel safe and comfortable at school and focus on what they need to do here. And nobody has the right to make somebody else feel unsafe when they're in school.
Victims should, I know when victims feel sometimes like they deserve it, you know what I mean? And so hopefully friends go, you don't deserve that. Stick up for yourself. Go tell your counselor. Students learn that when they talk to their counselor, it's confidential. So I might talk with a kid and I say, do you want this kid to get in trouble? Because if so, we'll go to the main office and write them up in the main office. But if you don't want them to get in trouble, we're going to scheme together about how we can get this to stop. So we have counselors and administrators that will work on that. But the victims need to realize that we're zero tolerance for that. And if they can get to either a friend, a counselor, or an administrator, or a teacher and ask for help, we're going to get on it and we're going to make sure it stops. And if it doesn't stop, we're sending the bully home.
Your experiences?
I think being really clear and consistent about what's appropriate and what's not, what's acceptable and what's not. I think from a counseling point of view, working with the bully, the person doing the bullying, about where that's coming from for them and helping them to understand that behavior within themselves so they can make a change, right? I mean, ultimately they have to change their behavior. I think those are some of the most effective things.
Say you're bullied and you're scared because if you think, if I do anything about this, it's even going to get worse. But if you know, I can go talk to my counselor privately, and my counselor and I will decide together if I'm going to do anything. But I always have the choice to do nothing, but just to talk about it. That is less risky for a victim. You see what I'm saying? Because the victim is really scared of repercussions, getting worse. So I think the key is to get the student to their counselors, and most students are pretty comfortable with their counselors. So we just gotta ingrain them. Go to your counselor if you're being bullied.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
We do mediation. It doesn't always help, but we try to mediate between the two parties involved, because a lot of the time the bully, a proverbial bully, feels like, well, this kid's saying this back to me, and that's why I keep going after them. And so that we've dealt with it with mediation. That will work sometimes. Sometimes it just kind of covers it up a little bit and doesn't get to the root of the issue. But a lot of the time it's, and then sometimes if it's severe enough harassment or bullying, consequences and getting parents involved help kind of slow the bullying process down, because if parents find out their kids are involved in it, a lot of the time they want to help. They don't want their son or daughter to be labeled as a bully, so they'll help stop whatever's going on. Cool. Those were tough questions. Some of the other ones they weren't easy, but those are harder ones than I've heard. Cool. When's the project due? Whenever. Who's it for, Miss Norton or Mr. Clemens? Cool. Good luck. Thank you for coming, girls. I appreciate it.